Today, I have the great honor of welcoming a true master of classical horsemanship, Colonel Christian Carde. You have dedicated your life to the pursuit of excellence with horses as an international competitor, former écuyer en chef of the legendary Cadre Noir, trainer of the French national dressage team, FEI dressage judge, and author. It is a real privilege to sit down with you today to explore the journey behind your remarkable career, your philosophy of horsemanship, and the lessons learned through a lifetime of horses. Colonel Carde, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. You were born in Bordeaux, 1939, just as the Second World War began, and your childhood unfolded during the German occupation of France. With a father who was a reserve cavalry officer, horses were already a part of your family background. How did horses first enter your own life, and how did growing up during wartime and the difficult post-war years shape both your relationship with horses and your outlook on life?
Yeah. My father was a rider. He was a reserve officer, cavalry reserve officer. Just before the Second World War, he came to Saumur, and then he could meet the officer of the Cadre Noir, and he could ride, and he could begin to understand what is good equitation. Then after that, all along his life, he continued riding. We had horses in a property that we were living in many months per year, and there were horses. So for me, naturally, first I could see my father riding, then I could see my father competing in show jumping, and at summertime, many often, we put the horse in the van, and then my brother did 40, 50 kilometers to compete in show jumping, and I followed. Then after I began to learn how to ride myself, I did something similar. Okay, it was why I became naturally a rider.
So he must have influenced you quite a lot then.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And he already had the connection to Cadre Noir.
No, not really.
No.
But as a reserve officer, he had to come off, not very often, but from time to time to Saumur.
Yes.
For improvement as a reserve officer. And then when he came, so he met the officer of the Cadre Noir, and when he came back to Bordeaux, where we were living, he was speaking of the Cadre Noir with great admiration.
Yes. And how interesting that you then took that part in your life.
Probably.
Yes.
Influenced.
Yes. Did he teach you how to ride, your father? Did he give you lessons?
Actually, no. He preferred to go in the country.
Yes.
Than to speak equitation.
Ah, he did.
No. I began to have teachers in a equestrian center, Mérignac, close to Bordeaux, and with all teachers and in a normal way, that is in arena. We began to learn how to jump. When we was young, jumping was show jumping and eventing was essential. I could hear from dressage much later.
What kind of background do you think that gave you that it was more jumping?
It's very important, very important. And if you want, we can say some words about this topic. When you ride eventing or jumping, you learn something that you feel. It's difficult to say, but it's easy to feel, which is balance. Balance and impulsion, the combination of balance and impulsion. And this is a very strong stone of the office, equestrian, of my equestrian office. And later, becoming a trainer or becoming or giving lessons and to riders, I understood how difficult it was to make them understand what balance is if they did not jump over fences. So it's very important. And then when we will speak of the Cadre Noir later, the Cadre Noir were the officers and non-commissioned officers were first riders who did everything. And then after that, they got specialized in dressage, eventing, show jumping.
I guess it's quite black or white when you go into a jump. It's a bit of, you can really feel when you get it right and when you get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
The feedback is...
Exactly. Because there is something that I cannot say in English, which is in French, instinct de conservation. Maybe you understand? No. There is something, you feel that there is danger or no.
Yeah.
If the horse is in balance, is well balanced, you feel that you will go. If he is not, you are getting anxious.
Yes.
Yes. It's why it's from fences you can make people understand what balance is. From speaking, it's less easy.
Yes, of course. So do you think maybe that is a bit what maybe is missing today, that we specialize too early?
I think so.
Yeah, you think that everyone would be
I think so.
profit from having a more all-round background?
Yeah, I don't believe that we can specialize in good way people who didn't feel what really balance is, jumping over rivers, jumping over fences, so on. I think it's difficult and quite impossible. For instance, when I was training with dressage riders, I didn't say many often the horse is not balanced, because it's a feeling more than an explanation.
Yes, that is true. Then, as I believe, as a young man, you then joined the French military academy. You have to help me to pronounce this. Saint-Cyr.
Saint-Cyr.
Yeah.
Oui.
Was that always the path you intended to follow?
It became progressively, because my father met a lot of military people. Himself, he was very military in the mind. And we met a lot of people coming home, invited for lunch and so on. So when I finished with the school, naturally I decided to become an officer in the French army, and I joined Saint-Cyr.
How was that experience?
It was a very interesting experience because in Saint-Cyr, when the exercises are hard, very hard, you can understand, you can learn how to go beyond of you, beyond. And at Saint-Cyr, you can understand what is the limit of what you can do, and which is pleasant, says you understand that the limit is farther than we think. This is very interesting. I think it's the most interesting thing I learned in Saint-Cyr.
Was it hard times?
It was physically rather hard because when I enrolled Saint-Cyr, the French army was at war in Algeria, and we were prepared to become officers in Algeria. But when I left Saint-Cyr, it was peace. So
Lucky.
Lucky, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, if we want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't wanted to go to Saint-Cyr to do the war,
No.
but to help our country for the outside problems.
What do you think that your military career taught you about yourself? What do you feel that those years with the military have given you for what you could build on later on in your life?
Something interesting. I don't know if you want. I speak now about the relationship between the communication between horse and rider, and the possibility when you are a military guy to be helped. If you want, we can speak about that. Something which is very interesting is, as a military guy, you have to give orders to soldiers, and we know that the military will do the job perfectly if they understand the orders and if they understand the goal and the benefit of the orders. And in my opinion, it's almost the same with horses. That is, you have to make the horse understand what you want him to do. And if he does not, you cannot go further. So probably that the military experience was useful for that.
That is so interesting that I guess as a soldier you understood how important it was that you could understand your task to be able to do it in the best of your capability, that it works the same with the horses.
And reciprocal is also very interesting from the horses to make improvement in you, because you have to make a strong animal to understand, and if you don't succeed, it's average result. There is an average result, and from that, if we are open-minded, from that we learn how to understand the horse, the same way you need to understand the soldier, the group, team and so on. So this is very beneficial from horses and from equitation.
So looking back on that experience with your time in the military and sort of your early life, can you recall a moment where you were forced a major learning curve in your horsemanship?
No, actually no, because everything I learned progressively. Progressively, it's rather a long time to become a normal rider.
Yeah.
And it's a short time to become a bad rider.
Yeah.
But it's a rather long time to become an experienced rider. But no, in my opinion, no. It was very helpful, I said to you a moment ago, to begin with show jumping and eventing, because this was very helpful for the combination of balance and impulsion. But all the other things were coming from showing the other riders, from the culture, reading, trying to understand what were the principles of that used the former riders I met. Everything makes you improving.
It's all a part of the journey.
With the journey?
The lifelong journey with horses.
Yes.
It's a long learning.
Yes, it's a long learning. It's a never ending.
Never ending.
It's never ending journey, and our we say in French, les anciens, the people who were before you, not ancestors, but the old masters. In France, they used to say two things. First thing, you begin to learn when you are getting too old to take the benefit. And another thing, they said, with horsemanship, we never stop learning.
No.
And when I was young, I was a bit not totally convinced about that. And now I am totally convinced, but unfortunately, I cannot go further with horses.
Please explain to us where we are going this afternoon.
I know. This afternoon we are going to the École de Cavalerie, French military cavalry school. This school was founded just before the French Revolution. And now it is working with another schools, which is a staff school, the nuclear biological school, and everything which is necessary to know nowadays for the soldiers. But in this school, 2 centuries ago, was born the Cadre Noir, not the Cadre Noir, but we call that le manège. Le manège, it comes from the name of the inside arena. We call that a manège. And the manège, and then manège became the Cadre Noir. And for 2 centuries, it was located there. In 1994, the Cadre Noir left the École de Cavalerie and went to, therefore, 6 kilometers far from Saumur, where now it is living inside the IFCE, Institut Français du Cheval et de l'Équitation, where we will go tomorrow.
Really looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay.
Good. There are 4 classical schools of equitation in the world. The Spanish Riding School in Vienna, the Portuguese School of Equestrian Art in Lisbon, the Royal Andalusian School of Equestrian Art, and of course we have the Cadre Noir here in Saumur. Before we speak about your own experience there, could you explain what distinguishes these schools from one another, and what role do you believe they serve in preserving classical horsemanship today?
Yeah. D'Auvergne, Jacques Aimable d'Auvergne was the founder of the military, the French military school in Paris at the middle of the 18th century, 19th century, 18th century. And d'Auvergne wrote, "Le cheval fait le cavalier. The horse makes the rider." So to begin to answer your question, I would say that these 4 schools, the way they are training their horses is first and overall depending on the horse they are schooling. And in these 4 horses, the horse is a bit different. The Spanish horse is a bit different from the French one, from the Limousin, and so on. So these explain that their equitation can be a bit different because they have to school such horse and not all the horses for every size, every breeding.
And you joined the Cadre Noir 1965.
Yes.
And that was after being noticed by Colonel de Saint-André. Sorry for my pronunciation. How was your daily life here at the school?
The daily life at school, and it took and it continued a long time, was improving our horses, training our horses, improving us as riders, and teaching. It's the 3 important parts. For the riding part, which was, in my opinion, very important, but I think we spoke about that already. We had to school horses for show jumping, for eventing, and for dressage. And the basic rules in our equitation would have been applied to these 3 kinds of equitation. From that, you could become a specialist in dressage, in show jumping, in eventing, and it's the reason why some écuyers de Cadre Noir competed at the Olympic Games in eventing, and others competed at the Olympic Games in dressage, and also in jumping. Jumping, eventing, dressage, we could have riders of the Cadre Noir competing at that level. And that was very important. The danger would be in specialization.
Yes, specialization is a good word.
Specialization, okay. And to follow the rules which are for all equitation, all the kind of equitation.
Is that really the difference then from Cadre Noir comparing to the other schools?
Probably.
Yeah. that you have
Probably,
the three
yes,
disciplines,
probably.
and that you also compete in the name of Cadre Noir.
Yeah, yeah.
So how many horses did you have? A set amount of horses that was yours to train, or did you share horses between you?
Yes, almost all of them have one or two horses for show jumping or eventing, and the other for dressage, in order to be able to do the display, reprise de manège, or to train them in this kind of special equitation coming from the old times, which are les sauteurs en liberté, jumps above the ground, with courbette, croupade and cabriole. Voilà.
How was the atmosphere when you were working here? Was it a supportive atmosphere?
Very silent.
Very silent.
Silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silent atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
The noise that we could hear was only coming from the saddle or from the animal's mouth.
Yeah.
From the sniffle.
Yeah. That is incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was quite strict discipline.
Yes. Oh yes, of course, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And as soon as the chief rider was entering the manege, everybody stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
To say, to let him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were there anyone that was sort of looking over your riding and giving you lessons? Or how did the development?
Yes. For dressage, the teacher was the chief rider. And we had lessons from him 3 days per week. And for show jumping, he was another rider. At the time, I was écuyer, young écuyer. He was Colonel de la Doucette. He was very fond of show jumping. He was speaking many times of the time, the beginning of the 20th century, where we had very famous show jumping people. And it's like that. For the sauteurs, for the non-commissioned officers, their boss was le maître de manège, who was the elder among them.
So like that, there were continuous development of the riding and of the horses.
Yeah.
How would you define classical French dressage?
We had a chief rider, very famous, General Lot. Probably you have heard about him, who wrote several books. In one, which is Questions équestres, he wrote that training a horse is following 3 goals. Quite forward, straight. If you add that, if you add to that lightness, I think you have the shape of the French traditional equitation. Then after that, we had more modern masters who had something. For instance, in France, as you know, at the middle of the 19th century, we had Baucher, François Baucher, very famous. Nowadays, you have people who are following Baucher and only Baucher, no other people. And General Lot, the one I just spoke, he met Baucher, and he said, right, you must, when you train your horses in dressage, you must think of Baucher. Okay. So there are some masters. Later on, you have another Bolshevist, Bodin, who said something important in our tradition. We're speaking of the tradition, which says hand without leg, leg without hand. That we must understand as don't do mistakes in the coordination of the use of your hands and of your legs. And then French equitation is something with this kind of strong ideas which must come to our mind when we train horses. I am thinking of another from Boucher, and make understand and let the horse do. Make understand and let the horse do. Very easy to understand and rather easy to apply. But if we follow these ideas.
And is the French classical tradition developing within the school, or is it about keeping the tradition as it was? If you look at the development of Cadre Noir now, is there any sort of modernization in it, or is it just there to keep true to those masters?
It would be easier if the chief rider of nowadays would answer this question.
Yeah.
I think that there are some questions, important questions. First question, it's the same with the FEI dressage. Is competition doing the same way of art? Is the dressage competition far from art, in the heart, and so on? We know that it's written in the FEI regulation that when the dressage competition was organized, it was to preserve the equestrian art from the abuses they could get. So this question is nowadays the same question for the national school where we will go tomorrow. So I think it's a bit similar. What is the role, the game of the Cadre Noir in the French equitation, that the French riders, the young riders, everything? What is the influence? Which kind of influence? Now I cannot answer to that.
How was it under your time? What did you feel that you had to keep true to?
Myself, I was de carpentriste. Maybe you have heard of General de Carpentry. General de Carpentry, very famous. He died at the middle of the 19th century, 20th century. And General de Carpentry was a man who knew perfectly Boucher, Boucher, not the man, but the content of the philosophy. He trained here for many years with several écuyers-en-chefs, and overall the famous Vatel. Okay. And the General de Carpentry wrote some interesting books. One must be close to our bed, which is Équitation académique. In this book, General de Carpentry, as he was modest, he said, it's not a method, I don't give you a method, I am not stupid enough to give you a method, but I give you ideas that you will find in this book. And the carpentry, for me, was the guy who spoke of the lightness with the most understandable words. And the lightness being the main not goal, but yes, the main goal, the main characteristic of the French equitation. What is characteristic anyway?
Yeah, that is the characteristics.
Huh?
Yeah, the same.
Is characteristic of the French equitation, lightness. So difficult to understand. Because the lightness needs impulsion and balance.
Yes.
Okay. And then it's lightness coming from impulsion and balance. And if not, it's not true lightness. And I don't know if we will speak about that later, but it's also a problem with the dressage competition. Can we really practice lightness nowadays in dressage competitions? Because of the tests and the many movements that we have to do fast. Do we have time to prepare the horse? Prepare in one word we will speak about, because it's very important.
Important word.
When I will speak to you of my rule, 5 P's.
Yeah.
If I forget, then
I will remind you.
My 5 P's rule. Yeah, the carpentry, in my opinion. I was the carpentrist.
You were. So within Cadre Noir, do you think there will be a bit changes depending on the understanding that the chief riders have, or what they feel is important?
Theoretically,
Yeah. Theoretically.
basically, the chief rider is the one who make the links between the past and the modern days. So it is to my 4th successor to answer these questions.
Yeah. Yeah. How did these years here in Cadre Noir shape your philosophy of horsemanship when you were here as a rider?
My philosophy?
Yeah. How did you feel that these years here shaped
My philosophy changed. At the beginning, but I think it's a bit similar for every rider. At the beginning, I was thinking that horsemanship was to apply rules to an animal. And it was compulsory to know the rules. So the first thing was to try to know the rules, to understand the rules, and then to make the horse do what we want. And then progressively, I understood that the relationship with the horse was not from a master to a student, but from 2 people who want to talk, not to talk, to
communicate
one another. And this changed totally my way my philosophy on equitation. I had to do the best possible thing with a partner, with everything you know. First, make him understand. When he understand, ask him to do. If he doesn't do, ask yourself if your message was clear enough. So say the message, a different thing. But one thing we must not think is that the horse doesn't want. It's very, very rare. The horse, if he understands, usually he does. If we don't ask for too much, if we don't ask for too difficult, but he does. And this kind of philosophy, I think we must put that in the head of the young riders as soon as possible.
Very true. So we are going to go in a bit to your competition career. You went on to enjoy an exceptional career in both eventing and dressage.
Yeah.
You competed in the French eventing championships in 1967 and 68.
Yeah.
And during your military posting in Germany between 1970 and 1972, you found the horse who would define much of your international career, Solitaire, which was a horse from Russia.
Yeah.
Together you achieved major international success, including 4th place in the Cure at the 1978 World Championships in Goodwood, victory in the 1979 French National Dressage Championships, and a team 2nd place for France at Aachen the same year, where there were 3 riders from the Cadre Noir. In 1980, you also competed in the alternative Olympic Games. Could you describe how you met Solitaire and what kind of horse he was?
I met Solitaire in the 70s in Berlin when I was a squadron leader in the French cavalry regiment. And at that time, there were the wall all around Berlin, as you know. And then in the French part, there were a big equestrian center close to the regiment where I was on duty. And then they have about 25 horses, but for sport, for the family, for display. And they could buy, they purchased these horses to a German guy whose job was to sell horses. And the guy was taking horses from many parts of Europe. And one day he got this Solitaire who was a Boudienny from Russia. And then I found Solitaire at 5 years. Then I was at that time a squadron leader. So I was commanding, but also I had time. And I began to train Solitaire, and I could understand that he had some talent. And a day, I had also in my jobs, I organized every year a jumping competition in the French area in Berlin, and I asked a French rider to come to be the president of the jumping. And in 71 or 72, I don't remember exactly, I asked a man from the Cadre Noir, an officer for the Cadre Noir, to come. And I say, I have a question for you. I am training this horse. I think he is a bit talented. Do you think it can be interesting and useful to take it back to France? So he could see the horse. He said, "You must go. So, you must. And it's why I took Solitaire with me when I came back to the Cadre Noir in 73. And then after that, the development, it's regular development until the Grand Prix level and the selection for the Olympic Games.
An amazing horse.
Yeah, yes. Yes, amazing horse because 3 good gaits, rather good good balance, good head, a lot of energy. So no real difficulty. The canter was maybe less good than the trot, but it's usually when the horse horses have very good trot. So the canter usually is not as good. And but no problem for the. I did not find big difficulties in schooling him. It was natural improvement.
And how did you? How was competing for you? Did you feel that it was a lot of pressure in it, or you have competing come easy to you?
Competition was not difficult for me because as a military guy, we were used to face up some difficult situation, and the competition can be a difficult situation, or if not a difficult situation, a not easy situation. So no, and it's rather no, enthusiastic word is lacking for me to explain to the competition. Also a side which is a bit exciting.
Can you remember an event in particular that was really special that you and Solitaire?
An event which was special. Yes. In Fontainebleau, one day, I was competing in a cure, and in my cure, I had to do movement, at walk, at trot, piaffe, and passage, and canter. And the guy who helped me for the music, he did some mistake, and I began my cure. Everything was okay, and then at the end, I was finishing with change of leg at every time. And so I said, "Oh, now it's the end." So I began to do my change of leg every time on a big circle, and I was waiting for the music to stop. And the music didn't stop. I had to continue changing every stride. So I took along the side, then the diagonal, and finally the music stopped. And my écuyer en chef, Durand, was watching. And after that, he came to me and he said, "You change at every stride." Perfect. He didn't know that it was.
It was not in the plan.
Probably I got a good mark for that.
Yes, and to be able to keep yourself concentrating all the time to not get any mistakes.
And what is interesting, maybe to say, from this event, is that when you are changing at every stride, it's a kind of different gait. And when you are at every stride, it's a gait.
Yeah.
Huh? It's a gait. So you put a gait, and I did nothing in Fontainebleau. The horse was at every stride, and I did nothing, only to drive him. To drive him.
But incredible.
Yes, but it's a very pleasant moment, I remember.
So we are going over to the last part we're going to do at this place until we're going to head over to the other place.
Yes.
And that was that 1991 you became the écuyer en chef here at Cadre Noir. And you were leading the institution from 1991 until your retirement 1999.
Yes.
how did your perspective change when you moved from being a rider to a leader and mentor of the institution?
It was done naturally. Why? Because between 82 and 89, I was national trainer for France. So national dressage trainer, it's a bit the same job. So I was used to give advices and to conduct some trainers, to prepare them to the competition and so on. So it was logically something which was following normally.
And how was it, if we go back to experience with the French team when you were training them, how is that experience comparing to being the one that compete yourself? How is that experience different? Because you are helping the riders to perform their best in the ring compared to when you are in the ring.
Yeah.
Is that a different philosophy, you think, or is there a difference?
Yes, it's a different philosophy. When you are national trainer, your job is only one job: for your team to win or to get the best possible results. So the national trainer, he has two main things to do. First, to select the riders, then to help the best to continue improving. Select the rider is rather easy because a horse who is competing in Prix Saint-Georges, for instance, or Intermediate 1, the horse, if he competing maybe 10 times a year, so he will get almost always the same average. Okay, so it's easy. You know, this horse is competing Intermediate 2 with average 72. So it's rather easy. Which is a bit more difficult is to help to give advices to the rider for them to improve. Because at a high level, but maybe not only at a high level, the riders are individualist,
Individualist, yeah.
Individualist, and they are a bit afraid if we try to change something on their way. So this is difficult. And maybe I can say to you a secret.
Yes.
A secret for
everyone else.
Not many people, of course. I had a good friend. Maybe you remember the name, Margit Autocrapin. And when I became the national trainer dressage in France, the guy before me, he stopped. He was fed up. He said, no, it's not a job no more for me. So when I came, I had to think about who will be in the French team. And then after 2 days, I had a telephone call and from Margit. Say, oh, hello, how are you? Yeah, fine, thank you. And you? She was living at that time in Germany with her in her own stable. And then, okay, some news and stop. And then some months later, she asked me, you remember when you called me, I asked you, what do you want to do with me? And I answered, well, Margit, everything is okay. Say to me, what can I do to help you? Huh? It's to you to say. And when you answer that, I ask you the question because she has the double nationality, German and French. And I ask you that because the German asked me to compete for Germany. To compete for Germany. A telephone call.
Yeah.
Up, direction. I don't know if you can say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh wow! So she did compete for you then. She chose France to compete for then in the end. And she had a lot of success.
She was
Yeah.
winning the World Cup
Yeah.
in '89.
Yeah. Brilliant. So when you then went back here to become the écuyer en chef, sorry, how do you say it in French?
Yeah, écuyer en chef, yes.
What responsibility did you feel that you had to protect a centuries-old equestrian tradition?
When I became écuyer en chef, I asked all my riders to come. And then I said, in the postface of the book of Steinbrecht, le gymnase du cheval, gymnasium.
Yeah, gymnasium.
In French, le gymnase du cheval. It's written in the postface. It is only in a national school where you have the best teachers and the best horses perfectly trained that you can properly teach equitation. And I say to my riders, so it's the way we have to follow. First, we must improve us, and then we have to improve our horses. For the first goal, I said, you are good, you are very good for some of you, but there are also people who are good in France and abroad. And I will ask them to come, not to teach you, but to explain to you their methods, what they are doing, and after that, you will think about, and you will. And it's what I did for show jumping, eventing, and dressage. And then for the horses, I didn't want that the riders were alone to dress, so I wanted that every year the rider put a goal to his horse. For the next year, for instance, I want is changing leg at canter. Of the next year is beginning the PFA or something like that. And then I organized meeting in the school, and I asked the eldest riders, écuyer, to check if the goals chosen by the rider and what they could see was corresponding. So they are the main things I did as a écuyer.
And did leadership come naturally to you?
No. Yes, as a military officer,
It helps.
we have a tendency to say, do that, don't do that. It's a bit in the nature.
It is very interesting how your military background had really helped you, both in your competition world and also in your role as the leader. What qualities did you look for in young riders entering the Cadre Noir?
I'm not anxious if I feel a guy who is quiet in the head and who looks curious, not a bit anxious and working too much, too fast, too hard. So a guy a bit with some freedom in the mind and open-minded overall. We don't know when we are young that we don't know anything, but it's the truth. So, and those who know everything when they are young, they are wrong. So I need the contrary of that.
What do you hope that your legacy at Samur will be?
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. When I was chief writer, I was following the equitation, the improvement of the equitation, maybe not the improvement, the evolution of equitation. When I disagree with something, I wrote something to the FEI. For instance, a year, I don't remember when, it was they erased from the regulation that it was at work, that the imperfection of the gate was most evident. And I thought that it was serious to do that because it's the truth. It's the truth. But because the horses at a high level were not walking very well, they prefer to erase. So I was not happy with that. No. Nothing else.
Well, we'll have a day tomorrow as well. So very much looking forward to our next. Can you tell us a bit about where we're going tomorrow?
You are going to the place where is now the Cadre Noir, which is called Institut Français du Cheval et de l'Équitation.
So we're looking forward to that then. Thank you.
Okay.
So we are now on our third location for this trip. Please tell me, Colonel Carde, where we are at the moment.
Okay, we are in a place which is not very far from Saumur. It is about 6 kilometers far from Saumur. In this place was built the École nationale d'équitation, French national school, in 1972. And the Cadre Noir continued to live and to act in the old stables in Saumur until this building is finished. And it was finished in 1994. And then the Cadre Noir came here definitely. We are, at the moment, we are in the saddlery, where you can see the traditional equipment of the horses for the reprise de manège and for reprise de sauteur, that is for dressage horses and jumps above the ground horses. Okay. And when the Cadre Noir is having a display, a presentation, a public presentation, they use these equipments, but usually for the daily work, they don't. They have a more normal equipment.
Well, I feel very privileged to be able to sit here in this beautiful environment. So we are going to continue our conversation.
Yeah.
And we are getting to another part of your life, of your long career, which was your judging career.
Yeah.
You became an FEI dressage judge in 1979. I think you took a break when teaching the French national team, but then you returned judging for a bit after that. So how did judging influence the way you viewed riding and training?
I could see some changes in the way people were schooling their horses from the competition, and I think they did that because of the competition itself. I explain. In the dressage test, you have to do several movements, but rather many movements in a short time. And we know that if we have a horse moving well, in good balance, in good frame and so on, we have to prepare it and then to keep it in balance and harmony. The difficulty with the competition is that you have to prepare very fast the next movement. And if the rider wants to be sure that the horse will not escape, he has a tendency to close a bit more the fingers and to keep the horse head a bit on the vertical and sometimes under the vertical, which is unfortunately the contrary of a natural frame of the horse and the contrary of what is required in the FEI regulation, with the lightness of the forehand and the pole the highest point and the head just in front of the vertical. So I could see that maybe some change with horses more horizontal and with a less lightness of the shoulders, of the forehand. Which is interesting to note is that before, when judging, in the collective marks, one was lightness of the forehand, and this mark disappeared. Now the judges has not to put a mark for lightness of the forehand. In my opinion, it's a danger.
What responsibility comes with the work of when you are judging? What responsibilities do you feel that you have in a way of keeping true to your principles?
The dressage competition, judging the dressage competition is something probably more important than we think. Why? Because if dressage competition was organized to preserve the equestrian art, we must be sure that dressage competition continue playing that role or not. So when judging, we do more than judging. We have to think and to say and to write. This kind of equitation is good and right, and the rider is going the good way in schooling his horses or not. It's why it's important.
And when you've been sitting behind your letter, when you're judging, do you feel that it is easy to be objective, or what thought process is there in, because I guess it's a part that is quite a pressured part, comparing, it's a pressure to be in a competition, but to be on the other side of the board, to be a judge, there I guess is another part of a bit of pressure as well. How do you work that through when you judge, to sort of both be objective but also with the influences that we already have coming from our background?
If we want to judge properly, we have to follow the regulations, FEI regulation, because in the FEI regulation, everything which is written is good, is very good. And the first duty for a judge is to know the regulation. After that, of course, we must be as objective as possible. But it's impossible. It's impossible because when we are judging, all our background is going. And then, if you are judging a famous rider, you have a tendency to higher the marks. I remember I had a strange experiment in Switzerland some years ago. I had to judge Rainer Klimke on a big stadium. I don't remember the name of the stadium. But it was a very difficult situation for me because when I was competitor, I was competing in the same competition as Rainer Klimke, and now I have to. And I know, as everybody, like everybody, that Rainer Klimke is a very good rider, very experienced and good rider. So it's so difficult to put marks which are not good, even if sometimes we could think, it's not so good. so it's a difficult job. Judging is interesting, important for dressage, for the future of dressage, but very difficult.
I can imagine. How was the dressage environment when you first started? Do you feel that it has changed during your years as judging? Did you feel that it changed from when you first started and when you left that part of your career?
Yeah, it changed. It changed for several reasons, two main reasons. First, the breeding. When I began, we could see in the competition, not many at the high level of the competition, but usually in the competition, you could see some average horses. Average horses in the conformation, in the gait and so on. But equitation has been invented to school horses, bad horses like good horses. And nowadays, the horses are much better in the frame, much better in the gaits, much better in the head. And the German was thinking about that when a man who was in charge of breeding in Germany, I will remember the name maybe in a moment, said, for dressage, we have to breed horses which naturally have the frame of a well-schooled horse at the beginning, at the very beginning. Okay. So now it's a reason. But, which is difficult, is that many horses are looking similar in the frame, looking similar in the way the riders are showing them. It's why we have more judges around the arena than before. It's why the marks are getting higher. So this is difficult. We can imagine that if the improvement is continued, okay, we will have more judges and every horses getting a 10. It's why it's difficult, and I think it's why the FEI must think about, as I said a bit earlier, is competitive dressage preserving the art or not? And if it is preserving the art, we must be sure that we do that.
Do you think that there will be needing some reform in it?
No reform, I don't know, but improvement in the judging probably, and judging maybe from the artificial intelligence to be sure that the gates are the good natural gates and not changing the gates, to be sure that I don't know more, but so to have an help that the human eye cannot get, maybe.
Yeah, some more objectiveness.
Yes.
In the process.
Yes. Objectiveness. Yes.
It's very interesting with the AI or artificial intelligence that actually it could also be a help.
Yes.
In the judging world.
I think so.
Do you believe that classical principles are becoming more difficult to preserve within the modern competition?
The danger is, according what I said just a moment ago, the danger would be that dressage competition could be its own objective. That is, we school the horses to compete, but we don't school the horses to have a horse following the old principles, harmony, lightness, and so on. The danger being that dressage could be a goal, but not something from principle and from good training.
So what did the judging teach you? Because I believe everything we do in life always teach something about ourselves in the process. What do you feel that judging taught you about yourself?
About myself. It's a difficult question to answer. I don't know. Probably I love that game, which is horsemanship, so much that it would be difficult to be objective, really objective, and that sometimes I must be more fitting to the principles and not thinking of the rules.
Very important, but very difficult, I believe, as well. So we are now going into your teaching. You have, of course, spent many years teaching. After your years in Cadre Noir, you were traveling a lot and giving clinics around the world. What is the first thing you observe when meeting a new horse and rider combination?
I think the main thing is, does it look easy and pleasant to watch at? Because harmony must be the goal overall for dressage, for schooling horses. Everything must look easy, harmonious. And it's a bit normal in a clinic that the rider who is coming to get lessons, to get advices. It's normal. The rider is a bit nervous, a bit tense. So, and the first thing is to make him more relaxed, more peaceful, more confident in itself. This is a difficulty when we are giving clinics. Overall, when we are giving clinics to riders who are competing, because in the clinics you have two kinds of riders, those who are competing and those that are only schooling their horses. Yeah.
So what is the difference you find between those two groups?
Oh yes, there is a difference in the way they are schooling. Those who are not competing are not afraid to have a horse with elevation of the neck, of the head, with the head in front of the vertical. They are not afraid. Those who are competing, as soon as the horse is not with the head on the vertical and the neck a bit horizontal, as soon as the horse is not in such frame, they are anxious. They are not easy.
What qualities are most important in a great instructor?
What quality? Oh, to be very precise in the words you use to explain how to do better. The precision in the language and the easiness is to use general words not precise enough and which are not very useful for the one who is listening. And among these words, one is rather difficult to make understand. It's the balance word, because the balance word is at the same time the main word in equitation and the most difficult word to understand. It's so difficult. When riders are coming from show jumping, or if they are show jumping riders, it's rather easy to make them understand that the horse is not in a good balance, because they have to imagine that they have 10 meters further a fence to jump over. For a dressage rider who never could jump, it's much more difficult. So some words are difficult. Impulsion is rather easy to make understand. On the beat is rather easy to understand. Lightness is much more difficult also. Balance and lightness, unfortunately, they are the most two important words in horsemanship. Because there is no lightness out of balance, and there is no balance, real balance, out of lightness.
And I guess it's a concept we keep learning all the way through our life as riders. How has your military background influenced your teaching style?
As I said just a minute ago, it's to use the good words. To use the big words. It must be clear in our mind, and if it's not clear in our mind, it will not be clear in the student's mind. This is important. And I think it's the main thing.
We have already talked a little bit about that, but the horses have changed over the decades when you've been teaching. Do you feel, like we were saying before, the horses have bit better quality. Do you feel that that have changed the way of teaching, of what problems that comes up between horses and riders?
I didn't think it changed the way of teaching, because the clinician he has to understand what is the problem of the horse in front of him, and whatever the qualities of the horse. But the main thing is to feel, to understand and to feel what is the situation. I remember, for instance, when I was in British Columbia a long time ago, a rider came for a lesson with a mare, goes totally mad, with two people holding the mare. And first I was thinking, I cannot do anything, because first everyone must be peaceful, calm in the head, the rider, the horse, the trainer. And since I was very disappointed, I have nothing to do but to try to understand, to feel. So I asked to ride over the mare. And then when I was on the back, I could feel a lot of nervosity behind me. And I decided to be quiet in order, a quite long time, in order that the quietness go down to the horse. I was not sure of the result, but it worked. And this day I learned a lot. And it was confirmation that from what happened in the rider's head, it comes very easily to the horse head. And later, from Finland, I could learn that from our feelings, we are spending other smells, different smells, if we feel anxious, if we feel brave, if we feel nervous, if we feel hungry. The smells are different, and the horse feels that perfectly. Probably also the dogs and other animals. And this is very important, because when we train or when we give a clinic, it's the same. We must be soft, relax in our attitude, in order for the horse to feel that and to become relaxed.
Very important.
Even if we don't do something different for a moment, but put the work in a peaceful atmosphere.
That everyone feels comfortable.
Yes, the main thing.
So after a lifetime devoted to horses, through competition, teaching, leadership, and reflection, what do you feel the horses has ultimately taught you about life itself, and what impact do you hope to have made?
I think the most important would have make people understand that We must understand more and more the horses that we have to school, that we have to train. And the relationship between the rider and the horse, the mental and the physical relationship is the main thing that we must look for and that we must improve in order to go towards centaurization, the centaur, the rider and the horse being the same. I think it's the most important.
And I'm sure you have done that. I want to say a big thank you, Colonel Carde. It's been such a privilege. I've enjoyed every minute of meeting you, and you've been so kind. So thank you so much for doing this for us. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You are very welcome. It was a pleasure for me to try to understand your good questions with my bad answers.
No, they were brilliant answers.
And you put
Brilliant.
I want you put.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It's good. No, it's not brilliant, but